That ship does not represent prosperity. Its purpose is to destroy, to subjugate, to enslave.
When it comes to a Zack Snyder project these days, I'm worried. I love Watchmen and I love 300, but otherwise, the mere mention of his name tied to any project gives me the chills. I gave Sucker Punch a chance. I gave Man of Steel a chance. It was a disappointment after disappointment. Out comes the Rebel Moon trailer back in August, and again, I'm looking down the barrel of disappointment. So, what are we expecting from this movie? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe, like, share, and subscribe to the channel because this is my review of Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire. God, I hate these long titles.
Do you know of his location?
Last I heard he was fighting in the Colosseum at Pollux.
Just a bit of a backstory. If you knew or didn't know, Zack Snyder was in talks to direct a Star Wars movie. Apparently, he brought a script and was rejected. This script morphed into Rebel Moon. If you're still on board, this is the point where I say no spoilers. I will describe the movie and reveal a few plot points, but it is really nothing to spoil. If you have seen the official trailer once before, you saw the movie. There are minor details at the end which I won't talk about, and a telegraphed moment that acute moviegoers will pick up on as a story thread, but I won't mention that as well.
Our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died.
The story begins with an introduction to the world in which a king rules on a vast empire of planets, and at one point was assassinated with his family, and their bloodline was severed. A new regent called Belisarius was appointed, and there are some who rebel against him. We get introduced to our main character, Cora, who works at a farm, but she is clearly not from that village. Sadly, the daily village routine was interrupted by an admiral called Noble. He represents the Imperium, and he wants food for his men. The village leader, Sindri, tries to hide the fact that the village has surplus and pays the price.
I don't understand what you want.
No, it's simple. I want everything.
Noble wants to squeeze the village for what it's worth in the name of the fallen king, a price that the village actually cannot pay. Cora, who was a soldier, wants to run away but cannot escape her duty and honor to defend the villagers, especially when she sees the Imperium soldiers that were left behind to oversee productions try to assault a local girl. Cora enlists Gunnar, a local farm boy that had dealings with the rebels, and decides to seek out the help of the rebellion.
That's our guy. That's the man we came to see, the one that introduced me to the Blood Axes.
At a big town's bar, they hook up with a lovable smuggler that wants to help for a price. This ragtag crew goes from planet to planet to gather warriors and past Imperium figures to bolster their crew before reaching out and recruiting a local rebellion chapter by the name of Blood Axes.
Gunnar's village was visited by a dreadnought that threatens its very existence. I have recruited these warriors and given my word to bring them back and defend the farmers.
All the while, they are being hunted down by Noble's dreadnought, who seeks to destroy the rebels and get promoted to a Senate seat.
Very insurgency, the king's gaze was sent to this backwater of the galaxy to capture. He alone will secure my seat in the Senate.
Take everything you know about Zack Snyder's filmmaking and slap on a new story, and you got Rebel Moon. The slow motion action, the weird color filters, and the powerful lady who seems unstoppable. The story is a mishmash of different ideas, different stories that we've already seen before. To say that it is a complete Star Wars ripoff would have done this movie a disservice. It is just a farm boy going to a remote outskirts of town to find a ship to take him to see the rebellion, only to find one piloted by a lovable rogue who only does it for the money. But it is more than that. There are elements that are taken straight out of Warhammer 40k. I've only been interested in that universe's lore for about 2.5 years now, and I can see those elements in this movie. The movie also took elements from Dune, both the distance traveling and the way the Admiral spends his, let's say, downtime.
That's excellent, Cassius. Inform me when they arrive.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
There are also elements that are taken straight out of Turok the Dinosaur Hunter and of course The Witcher. Overall, the movie's main fault is that it's predictable. Going from planet to planet to find the ragtag crew to defeat the Imperium's army seems childish at best and stolen straight out of Seven Samurais at worst. Each world is like a flimsy idea from a sci-fi novel or a sci-fi movie that did it better and more robust. Nemesis was interesting, but it was an obvious Witcher replacement. Tarek, or Turok, was a John Carter carbon copy, and the whole taming section that he has gave me full-on Avatar vibes. Stupid, and in the grand scheme of things, completely immaterial.
Yeah. I can run him.
Don't get me started on the Roman gladiator planet, where Jaimin Hansu is reprising his role as the friend of the gladiator.
To give you a chance at redemption.
I am beyond redemption.
I have no time for pity!
The only character I like was actually Admiral Noble, not because he's something special, but because Ed Scarron did such a great job with him. I mean, this is just Deadpool's Ajax, reborn as an Imperium general, but he still has the most character development.
I'm Admiral Atticus Noble, loyal representative of the slain king. I welcome you to his warm embrace.
I couldn't get behind our hero, Cora. She's an all-powerful, indestructible female. At least she doesn't have any superpowers anyway. And she was a full-blown Mary Sue, and you cannot escape it. But that's not the reason I couldn't get behind her. She was just too generic. She could have been played by a man, and I still couldn't enjoy that character. I couldn't form a deep connection with our hero, even though Snyder tried his best to tell us a decent backstory.
I was one of them. Daughter of a decorated commander.
My problem is that there are elements in this story that gave away the underlying plot. They give away the secret of the ending of both movies in about 30 minutes. I picked up on it, and I'm sure others will too. That's a real shame, and frankly, it's annoying. This is the reason I said that there are no major spoilers here. There's a main storyline that telegraphs its end really early in the movie, and in the middle, there's a collage of different heroes from different sci-fi fantasy IPs that we've already seen, and they've done it so much better.
Stay back. I just want to talk. That's all. I'm clearly distressed.
Is the movie good looking? Yes, it is. Has high quality CGI mixed up with some solid practical makeup, or at least a solid looking CGI makeup that looks practical. The desert planet doesn't look like a carbon copy Tatooine, finally. The original ship designs that don't look half bad, but the coloring is very Snyder-esque. As a side note, visually, Zack Snyder probably pissed off Henry Cavill yet again because he modeled the Imperium forces, coloring, style, and everything after the Astra Militarum from Warhammer 40k, and did it quite successfully. Since Cavill is working on his own first true adaptation of 40k, I would imagine that would have pricked him the wrong way. As for my recommendation, I hate putting a number or a star system on a movie. I'll just say this: if you like Zack Snyder's style of filmmaking and storytelling, you'll probably enjoy this movie. I don't like any of his work since Sucker Punch back in 2011, and I don't like this movie. Is it unwatchable? No. I've seen worse films this year. Is it woke? Not really, but it is intersectional feminist, and it does have the girl who's the key to everything. In fact, there are 2 of them. There's just too many things that bother me throughout this watch, and that's why I cannot recommend it.
She was magic.
Ah, yes. She was more than magic.
I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button to help me out and beat that algorithm. Check out other reviews that I've done in the past, or check out our live Saturday show where we cover all sorts of amazing movies. And remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.